Hey, welcome to another episode of My Daddy's Garage. Today we're going to be pulling off the carbon fiber panel, quarter panel, and we're going to be cutting away the quarter panel of the metal that I'm not going to be using. I'm just going to leave what this panel is actually going to be bonded to of the actual structure of the Corvair. That's my plan. Using a different camera, kind of experimenting it. This is a wide angle shot, so just bear with me. I'm trying to do it better than I did before, but we'll see. Hang in there. Any comments you have on my techniques of filming this, let me know. I'm just trying to get it better, best as I can. Okay, one thing is that I already pulled it, but I will be going back over and just kind of telling you what I did. Okay, the first thing that I did was I cut off all the excess, and I used the actual steel up here as a guide with the saw. Carbon fiber cuts really easily with a saw like this, so you don't have to worry about the time element, but what you do need is a good guide. Okay, when you have it like this, just use that. That works perfectly. The same thing, I got steel under here, so I just went around like that. On both sides, it's the same thing as the door jamb as well, and where the rear window is. Okay, other areas, I left until I actually pulled the piece off. And okay, the technique I use for that is, even though you've got the wax on here and you've got the film on here, there's still a little bit of grip, okay, and that has to be broken. So after I cut the excess off here, I just took a piece of metal like this, and using a glove, because you're going to be pressing hard, and you know how that goes with sheet metal. So I just opened up a little bit like that and just started pushing it in and out until I was able to come all the way to this ridge right here. And then I did the same thing along here, and the same thing at the door as well, and the same thing around as far as I could go here. Okay, and then what I did, because I couldn't reach all the way in there, I just took a long stick, rounded off the edges, and I just kept on going. Okay, and as this slides under, it'll pop, and you don't have to use a lot of pressure. It's more like a poking like this, a little at a time, all over, and the same thing up across here, and same thing back in here and going up like that, and then going under with the sheet metal around in here and around in here. And the hard part was right in here, but after I got all the rest loose, I just kind of went like that a bunch of times. I mean, gradually that just popped right off. Okay, as you can see, I don't have any stuff on this, any remnant of the film, or or some of this actually came off as well. But I will show you on the door panel over here, which I have not cleaned off at all, is that there's still some of the drywall mud on here, and there's still some of the Pardol film. Now, okay, what I used on this was the green stuff. Okay, the stuff on this I use, it's a kind of a purple, blue purple. This stuff is much better. It builds up thicker than this does with the same coats, and this is almost like a film of like plastic sheeting. The way it comes off in big pieces, which this. A lot of times it comes out in little chunks, and with the big sheets, it actually just popped this stuff right off. So my recommended recommendation is use the purple stuff. It's a lot better. I'll get into the door a little bit later. Okay, so anyhow, you can see that this holds its shape, but at the same time it flexes a lot. Now, if you've ever done anything with sheet metal like fenders and stuff like that, once you pull it away from the structure, like the understructure of a hood or something like that, the actual sheet metal does the same thing as this does. But partially as a structural thing and also as a sound deadening, what I said in the last video, what I'm actually going to do on the inside here, after I get all this laid out on the Tesla, because I don't want to lock myself in and not have all this fit, I'm actually going to put a honeycomb sandwich core and then epoxy that to the piece, and then like a layer or two of more cloth over that, and that provides a rock solid. It doesn't sound hollow at all. It sounds really solid, well worth the effort and the extra money. Now what I'm actually going to do, this is 1-inch masking tape, and I'm going to basically put it where I want to cut. So I want to leave a 1-inch lip that'll take this actually into the structure. And then I'm actually going to leave all of this and all of this as well, just to really have a good tie-in with the carbon fiber. This of course is going to be carbon fiber, but all this will be bonded to the carbon fiber as well as this 1-inch lip, and that'll give it a really solid anchor to this. There's no possibility of sagging and all that kind of stuff. It'll really hold its shape. Okay, now that I've got that all mapped out, I'm going to take an angle grinder and just cut in here and cut in there every place of the corners, and then just take the Sawzall and do the rest. And as I've gotten older, I am getting wiser. So I'll put on my ear protection. Okay, this is the look at the actual carbon fiber door. I've got it pulled apart. I did have it pop riveted together, but I pulled it off just to show you guys what it's actually made of. As you can see, the actual skin is kind of flexible, but once it's all together, it actually gets quite rigid. Okay, this is the only part that I actually saved from the original Corvair door, and the main reason for that is because to build this up would be really hard to get the alignment right, and also there are little slits in here that are actually used to put together the felt strips for the windows and other parts as well. Like there's a little piece of steel in here that holds this perfectly alignment. Same thing back here, and it would be really hard to do that with the carbon fiber. So therefore, I'm using this, and my bonding for the actual skin will be bound to this both on the top and the sides, and then on the carbon fiber all the way around. Okay, the actual door hardware, the actual latch from the Corvair, I made provision for that. The actual handle to open and close, I use that. I won't be using that on the Tesla though, because it'll be all electronic. Also, the important points are that for the vent window, the mountings are like here and here, and I believe up here as well. And naturally, I wanted to keep those intact as well. So like there, and I think there's another one also. And also for the window channels, that's one of the mounting points, and this is one of the mounting points as well, and as well as down here as the window channel that is actually part of the vent window. Oh, the other mounting point is up here as well. So I put all those in, and what I did was I'll show you on the other door that I've got pulled off, but this is molded directly off of the outside of the door shell of the Corvair door, as is the skin. Okay, this is the passenger side door, and as you can see, it's molded directly on the back side of the door. What I actually did was all these open spots on the door, I actually put tape in backs in back of all of them, so that there was actually a surface, and on the larger ones like this one right here, I just left it open like that, and I only carbon fiber just overhanging a little bit on all of those. Like this is the door opener, and then and obviously the latch is back here, mounting point, mounting point, mounting point, mounting point, mounting point. The door hinges are over here. They are not reinforced. As I was talking about on the other door, that this piece is the only part of the original door that I'm using, primarily because of the spacing in here and the integrity that I needed, and also these little slits right here to hold the felt in place. And it adds some structural integrity as well. This is a mounting hole for the rear channel of the glass, and this is a mounting hole for the vent window structure. As I showed on the other door, that the actual outer panel and this as well, there's a lot of flex when they're separate, but once they're actually bolted together, there's hardly any flex at all, and that's only with a few bolts holding them together, small small number 8 bolts. I think I might have like 6 on here. So anyhow, in the actual molding, unlike like the quarter panel, this is a lot more intricate than the flat surface of the quarter panel or the skin of the door itself, which are very easy to mold. So what I actually used is a bunch of smaller pieces. They're a lot easier to shape and all that. All that you have to make sure of is to make sure that they overlap each other so that there will be a bond between the individual pieces to each other. But it's a little time consuming, but one of the good things if you're doing a larger project like I'm doing, you have a lot of scraps left over, and this is the first the perfect place to actually use all those little scraps. And because none of this is going to be seen, I wasn't worried about little stragglers like that. Just as long as the structural integrity is okay. I'll give you a shot of the backside where the door latch is, and also the front where the hinges are. Those obviously are the placement of the stock Corvair, as I mentioned in a earlier video. Hopefully I won't be using those. Hopefully I'll be using the Tesla ones, but this will be my starting point to actually see if I have to use those, and the pillar from the Corvair as well, or if I can adapt for the Tesla. As I mentioned also in the earlier one, that by doing the carbon fiber, you save a lot of weight. Okay, I measured okay, basically what I have right here, the shell with everything removed basically. On the original Corvair door, it was 42 pounds. Okay, this carbon fiber shell as it is right now is 5.6 pounds. The steel upper adds 4.6, almost double the weight of what's here. And the hinge plates, or the backing plates for the hinges, are 1 pound. So therefore, just with what's right here, you've only got like about 11 pounds or so. So I mean, compared to 42, there's a lot of weight saving. Obviously, once you add the glass and the rest of the hardware, it's going to be heavier, but it's the same thing with the 42 pounds. The 42 pounds is without all that anyhow. So hope that's helpful. I'm also going to show you about the layup of the trunk as well. In one of the comments, somebody had asked the question about that they wanted to make some doors for their Corvairs. What I'm doing on this Corvair, I'm doing a one-off complete body. When you do it this way, there is a little bit of thickness difference between the body that I'm making and what a stock Corvair would be. So actually, to do a door that's going to go in an original body, what I would do, I would make a mold off of the door. I would make sure that the door is all the body work's done on it. It's nice and clean and straight, and then I would make a mold using a first coat of gel coat, and then the actual mold would be out of fiberglass because you don't have to go to all the expense of the carbon fiber to make the mold. And I would make the mold, maybe reinforce the back of it with some wood or something so that it holds its shape and form and everything. And then excuse me. And then after the mold is cured and cleaned, I go through the same process of waxing it and the Pardol, and then actually lay up your carbon fiber in the mold. And by doing it that way, you know, the actual thickness of the door will be exactly the same as as the original Corvair, both on the inside and the outside. Also, the finish on the door will be absolutely flawless. It'll come out nice and bright, actually having some depth to it, and a very workable surface. Whether you want to show off the carbon fiber or if you're going to paint it, it'll be a really nice, clean surface to start with. Anyhow, I hope that's helpful, and any other questions, comments, whatever, please post. Thank you. Now I'm going to go on to the trunk and actually show you the construction on that as well. Very similar to the doors. This is the carbon fiber Corvair deck lid. This is my neat little emblem, Tesla powered. I don't have this attached to the inner to make it easy to see, so I'll just slide this out of the way. But this is basically the same principle as that. The two halves get bonded together later. I can't do this yet as well because I don't have the latch mechanism out of the Tesla that I'll be using. So until that, it stays separate. I made some of these out of steel, and the two little plates for attaching the hinges were actually a lot heavier than the whole lid. But you can see how I simply I just laid up over the original structure on the back of the Corvair deck, and you can also see how when you pull it off, the actual surface that's right next to it is very smooth and very nice looking. However, the layup side, and as you can see, without the deck lid on, it is extremely flexible, especially because of the weight of the hinge. But once that's attached, it becomes very rigid. As you can see here, the same as on the door panel, I use primarily scraps, not some longer pieces or one piece, but it's primarily scraps just bonded together and to make up the inner of the lid. Okay. One thing about the lid, and you can see that I'll try to get a little side profile to show it off a little bit better. As you can see, I've got a foam core that I actually epoxied onto the back of this after sanding and roughing it up, and then I've got two sheets of carbon fiber on this side, and this makes this extremely rigid all by itself. So once this is applied onto here, you know, when it's actually bonded, this whole deck is going to be extremely rigid. I also did the same thing for the hood portion of the front end as well, and I'll also be doing that same thing on the door as well, just to stiffen up the whole thing. And one of the things that I really like about it, it sounds a lot better than just the hollowness of the carbon fiber itself. So anyhow, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you stay tuned for more. Press subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.